history students. Welcome to our timeline of my life, or our travel diary project. What are we going to do in this project? Well, let's talk about it. You have two options. The first option is to create a timeline of your life, where one, you have one event per year from your birth, and then the next year you'd cover is from kindergarten, and then every single school year up till now. You need to include pictures wherever you can. So if you have a picture of you the day you were born, you have a picture of you in your kindergarten class, or something like that, or some other event from that year, include it in your timeline. We're going to try and use green screens as much as we possibly can, so make sure not to wear a green shirt or any other part of green that would blend into the background. Number two, the second thing you will do is you'll also have one world event per year and try to include a picture, again, as much as we possibly can. And if we can put you in the event, even better. The next thing you'll do is you'll explain 5 world events of your choice. So out of your list of 11, you will explain 5 of those world events of your choice. You'll state the year that event took place, your own personal life event that happened, and then you will also explain the world event, talking about the importance of that world event and why you chose it. The goal is to make a video in 5 minutes or less. Next. This is what it would roughly look like. You'd have a timeline. For me, for example, I was born in 1978, and then a world event. So as you see, there's a picture of me being born and how the world thought of that. And then below, you see the world event that took place. Throughout 1978, numerous countries were testing nuclear bombs. And so, to me, that kind of stood out because in my lifetime, throughout the 80s, what I remember as a child growing up was this constant threat of nuclear war taking place. It definitely concerned me. Then I would go on to my next event. So, in another form of a timeline, I would jump to 1983, which is when I began my formal education going to kindergarten. So I would include a picture there from my kindergarten year. Could be a class picture or anything else I wanted. And below it, a world event from 1983 that I chose and that I'd explain. If that's one of the 5 years off my timeline I choose to explain. Then you would see it would go on. Birth, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, all the way up to this school year. Let's say you choose the travel diary. That's another option. What I would like you to do is choose 5 world locations you would like to travel to. Whichever ones you pick are up to you. Yes, the United States is a possibility, but no more than 2 of your 5 can be United States locations. I want you to include pictures of each location, put yourself in the scene when possible. Again, I'm going to give you opportunities to use the green screen in my classroom and down in the library. Then I need to explain why you chose each location, some historical facts about that location, and what you would imagine you would do there. Then again, you need to create a 5-minute video or less of you and your travel. So I'll give you a couple examples. A picture here is me in Amsterdam. Yes, I photoshopped that with a green screen, and I'm sorry about the quality. But I always wanted to go to Amsterdam. I read about it a lot growing up. I know that it was a city based on canals, and so as you can see in this terrible picture, there are a lot of these pixelated boats by one of the various canals. In the background is a church that was right next to Anne Frank's house. I read about Anne Frank and what happened to her and other Jews, and so I was interested in learning firsthand what her hometown was like. And that was one reason I went to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a city based on canals, and again, most people don't drive cars, they actually drive bikes. When I was there, I wanted to look into this more, and I noticed that a lot of the bikes were really, really old bikes, like bikes from the 1950s. When I asked people why, they said, if you have a new bike, people would tend to steal it. If you go with an old bike, they don't tend to take those. Another place I read a lot about as a kid growing up was the Colosseum. Being into athletics, I always wanted to see the major sports complex in the history of the world, and so I wanted to go with the Colosseum. Wow, look at me. I'm holding up the Colosseum with one hand. Pretty impressive. So to conclude, for your class project, you can either pick a timeline of your life project or a travel diary. In either case, you'll need to make a video. In that video, you can either be in it, where you can see you talking, or we can have still pictures with you in it, or we could just at least hear your voice. Make sure that you understand all these requirements. You need to work alone on this project, and I'm excited to see what you come up with. Good luck on your travels.